My name is Leslie Hisman. I'm currently a third-year flute performance major at the Lamont School of Music at the University of Denver. I have been attending Laurel Music Camp since the summer before I started high school, so last summer would have been my 7th year and my 2nd year as a junior counselor. If you've been to Laurel before, played flute with us, I'm so happy to get to share these with you. It's so exciting to be a part of my Laurel family, no matter how far away we are. And if you just stumble across these some other way, you should really check out Laurel Music Camp. It's a great community of people. I have some lifelong friends from Laurel, and the staff members are just so helpful and want to see you do the best musically you can. I'm so excited to share these etudes with you. They were the audition pieces from my junior year of high school, so I remember what it was like to learn them, especially at your guys' age, so it's really exciting to get to look back on them now with what I've learned in the years since then, so I hope I'm able to give some comments that will really help you. I'm going to start with etude number 3. Great, so let's start with talking about that. The first thing I want to start with is the very opening. There's no dynamic marking written. This could be the first piece you play. I really think you should come in strong. A nice, beautiful, big, open tone. Just show them what you can do right from the very start. Add a little vibrato if you feel like it. Just really be like, I'm here. I'm going to play this for you. This etude is going to be the most musical thing I play. With that said, if you're starting really strong at the next line down to get that crescendo, you may want to come back a little before then. So what I would do is maybe start coming back around those G's. So like, that way that crescendo can still happen and you're not all of a sudden like fortissimo on those high D's, and you don't have to worry about that if you come back just a little so you can build again. The next big one is the piano towards the middle with the da-da-da-da-da-da. I think it's really important with those especially to really feel light and free. You know, that piano is, for me, a mood. So it's light. It's not necessarily like super, super quiet, but it is because you want the mood. But I find, especially with my dynamics, that having some idea of the mood you want to create is really important rather than just thinking quiet. So I think of like, it's a softer part of a dance, maybe a solo. And on that forte, even though the crescendo ends on that downbeat of the ba-ba-ba-bum, you should still kind of be thinking of crescendo in your head because you're going lower. So yum-bum-bum-bum, because that lowest note's really the most important. And then at the end, that piano E crescendo that's long and doesn't really have anything, I would give yourself benchmarks. So I have like a mezzo piano written on the second measure. I've got kind of a mezzo forte somewhere in the middle of the third measure, and then finally your forte for that ending. so you actually can hear that long crescendo. And we'll now be doing Etude number 8. Right. So for this one, I like to think of 2 big characters. So you have this beginning and again at the end with this 2 half notes, you've got the trills going on, grace notes. Just one is like quiet, kind of creeping in. So we start with piano, and that should be the quiet but best sound you can have. So we never want to go out of our best sound, no matter what the dynamic. So as quiet as you can be with a really nice sound, and I like to think of it as kind of creeping in, like something's happening. You know, quiet, but still a good tone. I'm kind of sprinkling a little vibrato as I go to give my imagination of what this etude is trying to say. So figure out what you want to say with this. I think of the beginning as like this creeping building of intensity. However you want to say whatever this means to you, just make it come through in your playing. And make those dynamics heard, because there are a lot of them in this one, so you really want your judges to be able to be like, I can hear that you are doing all of these things. The next section I call that middle, again piano, but it's different to me. It's more playful quiet than creeping quiet, so we've got these playful grace notes and accented half notes, half steps rather, so I like to think of those accents as kind of like a second person. So, you know, Flute 1, quote unquote, is playing the da 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 da, and then someone else is in Flute 2 is interjecting ba-da. That's how I like to think of it. But again, you just want those accents to be heard and for it to make sense to you. The big technical thing here, though, is you really just want to be thinking like it's just straight triplets, and those grace notes should not change that pulse. So you really want to practice without. nothing should change when you add those grace notes back in. They're just the little embellishment, the little extra on top, but it shouldn't change that fundamental pulse that it really just is triple it, triple it, triple it, triple it, over and over again. At the end, I see as kind of a return to the main theme, but now you're confident, you're here, you're not creeping in anymore, you are here and you are showing yourself. So you really want to be confident at this end. You know, your forte, nice and open. You've got that nice crescendo leading into it, so really just go for it. And then I want to stop to talk about the next measure, because we've been playing so many triplets that sometimes these dotted eighths, sixteenths can begin to sound like triplets, and you really don't want that. So I would practice by playing all of the 16th notes within each beat. So and try to feel the contour. So maybe accent D, da, D, so. And then eventually you end up with. Another way to think of those, rather than thinking like 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1, is to think of them as kind of pickups into the next. So ya, ba-ba, ba-ba, ba-ba. Yeah, so that's one way to try that out. The last thing is these middle range notes towards the end, at the very end rather. Ba-da-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-da-dum, bum, bum. I like to think you're kind of a percussionist here. I'm thinking big timpani, where they're accented, they're loud, you're hitting and pulling away a little bit. So bum, bum, and you've got the little back of fading just a hair to give it shape. I'm personally adding some vibrato there. I think it adds to it, but so maybe try playing around with those notes. How do you want to make those accents sound? How loud do you want to end up? But again, with a lot of this, it's just making sure all of these little markings are heard. There's all these dynamics, accents, different things going on, and you want to make sure the judge understands what you're doing for all of them is just so important here. I hope you've been enjoying playing these. I hope these helped, and I look forward to hearing what y'all think. And I wish you all the best of luck with your region auditions. My last little bit of advice for just auditioning in general is there's nothing like auditioning, so you really have to put yourself in the situation that makes it feel a little like auditioning. Your heart rate's up a little bit, you need to be prepared for the nerves that happen. What I like to do before all my auditions is, either with friends or when I'm at home for my family, is I sit them down, I get dressed up in my audition clothes, and I play the audition for them. Usually at least 2 or 3 times the week leading up to the audition. Ideally, I would try to do it every day the week leading up to. So get into your audition clothes, play in front of people, because even if they're your family, your best friends, you still get some nerves. It's not the same exact level of nerves as if you were in front of your adjudication, like you will be on that Saturday. But it at least gets you used to the feeling and, oh, I get nervous and I do this weird thing. I know my personal thing is I get nervous and I add crazy uncontrolled vibrato. But now I know that's a thing, and if I practice getting myself a little bit nervous, I can work on how I make that go away. So that would be my last big tip. Again, I just want to remind people who maybe haven't been to Laurel before or just hearing about it from these videos, please check it out. It's a really fun time. Great community. Again, like I said before, some of my closest friends are Laurel people. The staff members are just so knowledgeable and willing to help. So really check it out. And if you are a returning Laurel person, I truly hope I get to see you in some form this summer, whether that be online or in person. I just really cannot wait until Laurel this summer. But again, I hope these were helpful. Thank you.